Hello and welcome to Everquest Revisited Episode 2 Expansion Special, the show that talks everything Everquest, past and present. I'm your host, Darren. Knights of Shadows has now had its full release, the 29th expansion. I cannot think of any other MMORPG that has anywhere near that number. The expansion has now been out for a few days, so I thought I would let you guys know what you can expect from the new expansion and my thoughts of around about 20 hours of gameplay. Firstly, let's have a look at the lore behind Knights of Shadows and what the new expansion offers. Okay, this is the official expansion brief. With a sudden rumble and roar, North and Lucklin are on the verge of absolute explosive chaos. Rumours of an imprisoned Great Spirit has begun to spread. Meanwhile, as other factions reclaim their territories, further enraging their counterparts, one particular clan is on the verge of outright panic. With Shadow Haven in ruins, Charval is in complete turmoil, and the recent earthquake opened a pass in Firefall. Things are looking dire and bleak. Everything is putting the entire world at risk, and the call for heroes to step up is imminent. According to shadowy voices, key to surviving the unfolding events will be the Val'shir. But how will any meddling in affairs of the Great Spirits prevent all-out war? What happened to all the animal spirits that were sent to Lucklin, and how does that affect what is about to go down? Okay, now that's out of the way, let's have a look at what the game offers for our hard-earned cash. We get 7 expansion zones. All these zones appear to be new versions of old Lucklin zones, and it's more aimed at the higher-end player. The 7 zones are Shalval Divided, Ruins of Shadowhaven, Firefall Pass, Peludal Depths, Shadeweaver's Tangle, Darklight Caverns, and Deep Shade. As well as the new expansion zones, we also get new raids, quest and missions, new spells, AA's gear, and trade skill recipes. We get the new collections, and finally trade skill component depot. Now with the trade skill component depot, that can hold 250 stacks of different trade skill items. You can add slots with marketplace items if you need them. This depot is shared among your characters on the same account and server. So it's a little bit like a shared bank. Each of these slots ignores the standard stack sizes and can hold many more items. Additionally, you can utilize these items anywhere in the world when crafting. I did read there was going to be an 8th zone, Hallowshade, which I guess was not finished in time, so they've not released that. Maybe we'll get that in a later patch, who knows. So how do we travel to these new zones? You can take a cave in Umbral Plains, that will take you to Firefall Pass. The Guildhall portal takes you to Charval. Premium portal takes you to Ruins of Shadowhaven. And player teleports will take you to Shadeweaver's Tangle. So that's everything the new expansion offers. I'm going to go into a bit more depth on my experiences for you guys, what I've done over the last 20 hours or so you get an idea of what I think, and you then make up your own minds when you jump into the game. So I've now played approximately 20 hours of the new game expansion. Let's start with the expansion doesn't bring anything new, as in graphics, upgrades. You get new zones, and it really is that. It's very similar to previous expansions where you get additional raids, you get additional gear, you get your additional spells. Other than that, it's more missions and partisans for you to complete, collections, etc. The zones themselves are revamped old zones. I believe there's nothing major new to the zones. There's been obviously changing some of the mobs and so on. And I'm not sure because I haven't experienced all the zones in the whole game. I think Deep Shade and Darklight Caverns may be new zones or very different to previous zones. I'm not sure on that. So maybe you guys could let me know if those zones are revamps of other zones. Now, I've done around about 70%, I would say, of the partisans and missions already. What I have found, it's very quick, it's very easy. And looking at messages from my guild and the chat, they are saying the same thing. It's very quick to run through these partisans and missions. So I don't think it's going to take many people long to finish this expansion pack. The partisan and merc missions are pretty much your bulk standard. It's go after this mob, go after that mob, kill, collect this item. There's obviously your normal running around, collecting items for the NPCs. Very easy. and very quick. That's a bit of a disappointment. It's not a challenge. And I was hoping that this expansion would give us more of a challenge. I found the previous expansion, Terrace of Lucklin, harder than this new expansion, which I would expect it to actually be more difficult being the latest expansion. I haven't come across many bugs at the moment. There has been a couple of patches. The main bug I have found was I almost completed the Partisan for Chalvel, and it was actually bugged with the Gremlin reports. You couldn't combine them. They patched it, they said it was fixed, went to do the hand in, and it wasn't recognised. I still think they need to fix that one. Right, let's talk about the group missions. I'm very disappointed. Why am I disappointed? The reason being is each group mission that I attempted, I was successful on my first attempt. There was no major strategy which was involved. It was very much DPS driven, so it was going in, good DPS, a bit of tanking, and you were going to win. The rewards weren't massively great, some nice augs, but other than that, far too easy compared to Toll and even Cov. They're just some very easy group missions. The only one I did struggle with, which was Mean Streets, which you needed a little bit of strategy for, and after 3 attempts, we were successful. So for me, there was no challenge there, no challenge for the group, no challenge for the guild. It's probably going to be an expansion for power leveling. Other than that, I can't see this being an expansion where people's going to continuously keep revisiting. I think it's going to be passed over very quickly and forgotten about. What's raiding going to be like on this expansion? I don't know. I believe they're going to be opening up the raids in January, so not experienced those yet. Obviously, they're going to be pretty much like every other previous expansion where the group missions are the raid missions, but with a bit of a twist. So I'm hoping they're going to be harder and not so easy to complete. I will discuss the raids in future podcasts once we start working through them with the guild. Now, the expansion wasn't all that bad. I have enjoyed playing. It's just that I am finding it a little bit too easy. It feels like they've rushed it and just to get it released. So I think they could have probably put a lot more work into this. However, we do know that this is what we've come to expect on expansions, unfortunately, and we would like to see a big change in future expansions, I'm sure. Now, one of the things I really did like in the expansion was the mercenary quest in Darklight Caverns. Now, what made this so different? It was the same as any other mercenary quest where you would do turn-ins, etc. And I know most quests are repeatable. However, this one was different. If you were willing to run around and keep repeating the quest, you were able to hand the items in multiple times and you would get rewards. So if you completed the quest 21 times, you'll get a Great Tiger Spirit Familiar. 31 times you'll get the Spirit Drinker's Coating. So that's an upgrade to the COTF Blood Drinker's Coating. And if you hand it in 45 times, get Valia's Unyielding Bravery. An 8 counter 100% melee DD DOT absorb, which I felt was something different I've not come across before. However, remember guys, I did have a good long 15-year gap, so there's stuff I did miss in between the early days and me coming back. If that is wrong and there is other things, by sure email me guys, let me know. So, my verdict so far, nothing major game changing, very easy, very quick, feels a little bit lazy. Like previous expansions, there's more raids, missions, and some nice items to collect, more content to get your teeth into. However guys, only time will tell. At the moment, I'm on the fence. It's not great, it's not awful, it could have been a lot better. So there you have it guys, that's my early thoughts of the new expansion. On the next episode, I've invited a few guild members to join me, so hopefully I'll have 1 or 2 on the next podcast. They're going to discuss Knights of Shadows as well, and they're also going to discuss their EQ stories and experiences. And we will be going over our raiding experiences of 2022. Thank you for listening to my latest podcast. If you have any questions, suggestions, or if you would like to be a guest on the show, please contact me on eqrevisited@outlook.com. Thank you for listening. Safe journey.